Good morning, everybody. This video, as you can guess from the title, is all about Telogen Effluvium, my personal experience with extreme hair shedding post-COVID-19, and specific, the Delta variant. I just want to make it clear that, of course, I'm not a medical professional, but all this information that I'm going to share is either part of my experience or from credited medical professionals, by the way, on both sides of the Atlantic, since I live between two continents. So, to begin with, Telogen Effluvium is extreme hair shedding that occurs after a traumatic experience that you can suffer. Now, this could be emotional, physical, and so forth. It is not specific to COVID-19, as my one of the physicians had explained to me. The hair follicles, as one of the medical professionals explained to me, are very sensitive. So when something traumatic happens, it is quite common that something will happen with the hair follicles. Now, with my specific case, I was suffering from, I definitely did a lot of suffering actually. Delta variant, COVID-19, very limited oxygen, which is what one of the professionals told me really triggered this, because I could not breathe when I stood up for more than about 6 seconds. I could only breathe normally when I was lying down. I had heart palpitations, hives, could not eat. Maybe I was eating like an orange a day. And the extreme condition lasted for about 2 weeks. So if we want to fast forward 6 weeks after recovery, what happened to me was I started noticing extreme hair shedding in the shower, daily activities, and basically just standing still. Your hair was extreme shedding. So I know that my hair sheds every fall, and that's a good way to remember it. Fall, hair fall. And when I was living in Athens, I remember my stylist told me, don't worry about it. It happens twice a year. And my body is very much like clockwork, and it was happening twice a year. Whenever I am back home in Canada, I feel like it happens in the fall, and then it strengthens for spring into summer. So I just want to explain that this was so extreme that when I was shampooing my hair, you usually don't shed when you shampoo in the shower. That happens in the conditioning and mask phases because you're just cleansing your scalp, and then a few will fall out. So when I would be shampooing like this, I literally would feel clumps coming down my back. And then when I got out of the shower and I was detangling with my very first wide tooth comb, again, I was seeing clumps and clumps and clumps of hair. And another clue was that my hair had no structure. It was extremely weak, and it basically just looked like flimsy, loose, like baby hair. No structure, no strength to it, nothing like what it is today. And of course, I'm going to go through what I did to make it strong again. But these are clues that there is something wrong. So like I mentioned, I had the COVID Delta variant, and at that time, it was at the height of the COVID commotion and drama. And unfortunately, we didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't even make it to the doctor. When I was hospitalized, I didn't ask these questions because this happens 4 to 6 weeks after your traumatic experience. I saw another girl online. She said she had family members pass away and it happened to her. So it can happen. And an actor, by the way, in Greece that I worked with, he as well, it happened to him after his parents got divorced when he was young, and then his hair just grew back and flourished. Like my doctor told me, your hair is totally very, very sensitive, but it's magical in the sense that like it grows back. So I just want to tell everybody here in the middle of this video that it has a happy ending, and if you're going through stress right now, that it's gonna be okay. You have to keep repeating that to yourself. A lot of people make videos for the shock and awe value and to scare you or to sort of persuade you to buy products. That's not what I'm about, and that's certainly what this video is not about. I'm here just to pass along some information from my experience and professionals, and then also to give you some things that were red flags, and then of course we're going to go to the solutions. And everything is okay in the end because this is all temporary. So as I mentioned, I live between two continents, and I was leaving for Greece and Cyprus to go film my TV series, and I had to color my hair. All I use for my hair, by the way, is color. I never use bleach, and I just color my roots. So it was a routine visit with my stylist, and I told her, look, I'm undergoing some heavy duty shedding. She's like, there's somebody else there. And they said, oh yeah, I am too. No big deal. The horror and the drama happened while she was washing my hair. She was quite rough, which she usually is quite rough, and I've known her for years and years. She's just very thorough and meticulous, and I could feel shedding when it was happening, but when I took it out of the towel, it was all clumpled, and there were like balls of hair here that eventually would come out when we started combing it out. All red flags. I still did not know what was going on. I had to be on a plane 2 days later to work with a production crew I had never worked with in a place I had never worked. So believe you me, it took all my strength just to remain calm. And that's why if someone is going through this, please share this video, because the experience can be very traumatic. So I flew to Greece and I flew to Cyprus. And I remember on the flight to Greece, like I was literally examining my hair. And because my hair is on the longer side, it's not as noticeable, because people usually say, oh, wow, your hair is so long, it's pretty, or things like that. But I could tell how thin it was. I could tell how much it was shedding. Literally, I would move and I would see hair flying everywhere. So it was scary. As soon as I got to Cyprus, I had time before filming. I went and I saw a professional, and she said it was common. A lot of girls were coming in and complaining about this, and she had the experience as well. What she recommended was Apivita. Now that's a brand name of products from Greece, and a hair tonic called Rosemary Hair Tonic. And that was for people that were undergoing, for men, they called it a hair loss tonic. For women, it was something similar, like a hair shedding or hair loss. And what she said was it would stimulate the scalp. Now, there's so much different information about rosemary, but this is the truth. She told me that what it was going to do was psychologically make me feel better, because it would make the hair feel more dense. And that is key to this part of the story. So every night she had me part my hair, and I think it was 7 sprays per section, massage it in, and then you would just like leave it until the next time you washed it. And she was right. Psychologically, it felt good, because especially here in the front, that's where you, in my specific case, and with many other females that were coming in, were feeling the shedding. So, or feeling like the thinning of the hair. So it felt a lot thicker, a lot more dense. And honestly, like when you have a pimple and you put a pimple patch, like I've got a bunch here right now, and you can't see it, psychologically you're happier, you're better, you will do better. So that's why I recommend Apivita for this particular part in the story. What I noticed was the shedding continued, but as the shedding continues with this issue, and once again, I didn't have a lot of information from medical professionals, but you will see the shedding start to lessen. And yes, I was filming, and you can literally see in the wind, like my hair was dispersing. I thought, I didn't even think I was going to have anything left at the end of these trips. I remember interviewing an actor, a television presenter, and I was grabbing the bottom of my hair as he was talking, and I was just pulling him out. Like they were, you literally think there's not going to be anything left after this. So what I was doing is I was trying to stay away from Google, because I was actually frightened at this stage. And I tried washing my hair less. I tried washing my hair more. I tried using different types of products. And here's what I finally discovered that actually helped. Stick to your usual hair washing routine, because you want to make sure that your scalp is nice and clean. What helped me was I bought some Apivita hair products that were natural and also very light. I could not use my Pureology Strength Cure, so the blue bottle, nor the purple bottle, which is extra moisture. Nothing with extra moisture, because my hair was so flat. It was like baby hair. It had no body, nothing to it. So I used a lighter shampoo and conditioner. I stuck with the naturals, and I air dried. And what I did was, if I wanted some body, I would have it in a braid and let it loose after, and that would also help. I didn't go for a haircut, a trim, nothing. So when I returned, I noticed that my hair was shedding less and it was getting stronger and stronger. And by the fourth month post, the shedding had pretty much subsided. The hair was getting stronger, but it was still like in a weakened state. So after all of my research, here's what I discovered. And after speaking to 3 medical professionals in Toronto, Canada, plus the medical professional in Cyprus. While this is happening to you, the extreme shedding, the Telogen Effluvium, be very gentle with the hair. Do not color the hair. I did not know that. Now, is that going to cause more fallout? No, but you are being aggressive with the hair and you're adding chemicals to the hair, even though it was just color. Try to steer away from that. So when I came back, I didn't color my hair for 4 or so months. And it was okay. I know we can get a band, blondies, if you don't color it as often, but at this point I could not color it. So when I went to get it colored 4 months later, I went to somebody else. I have 2 or 3 people that I would fluctuate between when I'm in Toronto, and then I have the same overseas. And I explained the situation to the female here who I saw in Toronto for the coloring, and this is what she did. And I did this in a short, and I'm going to show you now. She wanted to test my hair to see if it was okay to color or if it was still shedding. So I'm going to show you right now what she did. She grabbed my hair in a ponytail, okay, like this, and she just started doing this. She moved it around a little. She did a little bit of this, and she said, it's safe, you're good to go. So that's why I had shown that sort of hair shedding test. And by the way, I was doing that throughout my experience. I just actually didn't know that that was sort of like the hairdresser standard. So when she started to color my hair, my scalp felt really sensitive. So I have to dumb down the formula. So like I said, I only use color. I used to use high lift. Now I just use regular color and a 20 volume, and it blended in perfectly. What you need to do if you're blonde, because that's all I know about, because my natural was actually very light when I was younger, then it got darker. So if you can do a little bit of research and use color and less volume, you're better off than using something more harsh at this point. Again, consult with your stylist, but when I consulted with both my stylists here locally and last year when I was in Crete, I did the same together, because you know your hair better and then they're professionals. Together we came up with beautiful formulas from all 3 salons that I go to. So I also highly recommend doing your research when you start to recolor again. So then slowly I started coloring my roots again. I didn't touch any part of my hair. I got highlights probably like last summer, but just very few thin highlights. And so I'm babying the hair, but the hair started to get stronger and stronger. And then slowly I got off of the lighter rosemary shampoo conditioners from Apivita, and I went back into my Pureology. I also sort of toggled between Australia 11 because I find their line lighter. So I tried a few lighter shampoo conditioner lines just so my hair wouldn't feel so weighed down. I still use my go-to Pureology leave-in. Less products is more at this time. And then these will be your best friends, the claw clips, because they don't put strain on your hair and on your head. I couldn't even do the pineapple bun when I went to bed just because the hair was floppy, lifeless. But in the end, everything was okay, and everything will be okay because it's temporary. Your hair is a beast. Your hair can take a beating, as my hairstylist told me like last month. You just got to know what you're doing. You got to be gentle with it. Use your common sense, and definitely see medical professionals. The 3 medical professionals that I saw here basically just taught me hair, scalp, follicles, very sensitive when there's traumatic experiences. This is quite common. Be very gentle with it afterwards. Don't color it during. Use your claw clips. Be kind to your hair. And basically, you just have to ride through it. You can't treat your hair the way you did in the past, so you're just going to nurture it back to good health. And then I started blow drying again. I never really use heat tools on my hair. I actually only blow dry like in the winter. I mean, for me personally, I prefer my hair in its natural state anyways. It's funny when I have to get hair and makeup done for filming and they want to straighten it and put curls in that, I just basically say no. It's okay. It doesn't matter if everyone likes your hair or they don't like your hair. Now about the brushes, I was sticking to this very gentle Tangle Teezer. Actually, I bought this during COVID, and then the Ultimate Tangle Teezer, I didn't even use it during that time. I couldn't. It was just too much. And I stuck to long braids, double Dutch braids, French braids, anything that was like super gentle on the hair. And this plus the wide tooth comb was very helpful for me. Limited products, and ride it out between 4 and 6 months. You're going to be okay. The shedding will stop. And then the next time I shed, which was the fall, the shedding was very light. Like my body literally, and I'm very grateful that I'm blessed like this, it really is like clockwork. When something is off, it tends to adjust itself pretty rapidly the exact same way. So hopefully that happens with you all as well. Like it adjusted itself. So the next time that it was fall shedding season, it was pretty nominal. And so this season was a little bit more because it's sort of getting itself back to normal. And what I learned from the medical professionals in Toronto, like they literally, they looked all through my head, they looked at my scalp, they didn't even see anything, but I knew. I knew when and where the shedding was happening. And the only thing they recommended was Rogaine. For me personally, I didn't want to use any harsh chemicals like that, so I just stuck with my rosemary tonic from Apivita. Now there's something called a ticunida plant, which is stinging nettle, and that is amazing. It's a ancient Egyptian herb. My mom used to grow it in the garden when we were growing up, so it's edible and also really amazing for hair, scalp, and growth. And I've done a short on that before, but definitely look that up as well. For me personally, I prefer more of a holistic lifestyle, so those are the things that worked for me. Nothing was miracle overnight and better. It was slow and steady, but slow and steady, you'll get better. Use your common sense on what you're doing with your hair at this time. Steer away from the things that I mentioned. And in the shower, what I do now is I gather up all my hairs and I always take a look at what I am losing at the end of each shower, because I just always want to make sure that I'm on pace to what I'm supposed to be doing. Definitely don't want any surprises in my life. And I really try to control any external stressors or anxiety that I can. If you have any questions, feel free to write them here. And I just want to say it's going to be okay. Like, don't panic. It's temporary. Just like everything else in life, right? See you guys next time.